Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. And if you can't tell, we have something different. We have the V8 Ariel Atom from Top Gear here in the shop. This is the car that James May drove and the Stig drove. Not one like it. This is the car. Uh, it is an insane amount of fun to drive at the same time being incredibly terrifying. There's probably nothing scarier on four wheels. Um, Regarding speed and quickness, it is like nothing. It's like super bike fast. Anyway, we've got some maintenance we're doing on this because it hasn't had an oil change in probably 2 years, but it doesn't get a ton of miles on it. So the car in total for its entire life over the last, what is it, 14 years? Almost, no, 13 years. It only has 1,400 miles on it. So it doesn't get driven a whole bunch. But when it does get driven, it gets driven pretty damn hard. So this will be the third oil change that we've done on the car. The only difference is we were doing it over at Studio 47 and not in my shop. So I have to remember, because it was years ago, the last time we put this car on a lift. As you can tell, it's not a normal car, so it doesn't have like regular frame rails that you can just slide the lift arms under and lift car. You have a carbon fiber tub here, and you can't lift from these because it'll just slip right off. You can lift from the wheels, but that sort of buries the suspension, puts all that stress on the suspension, all the exposed cantilever suspension. So we can't really do that. You have to go from, if I remember correctly, from the frame points, the suspension mount frame points up front, and then in the rear, you have to do the same thing, but you have to stretch the arms out really far. Now, it's not that big a deal because the car only weighs 1,400 pounds, so you're not putting that much stress on the lift. If this was, a much heavier vehicle, you probably wouldn't want to do that. But this one, you have to kind of go towards the car in and then back forward to reach these lift points. Now, the good part is there is a drain in the sump. The oil sump is here. It takes a lot of oil. I'll show you that in a minute. For a little tiny 3-liter, 3.2-liter engine, it takes a lot of oil. This is the oil fill, and this has a dipstick. It didn't originally have a dipstick on it, but Craig Reed made one, which is kind of cool. So it now has a dipstick on it, and you can tell when you are full on oil. Look at this, it's still like gold. The oil in this is still very good. Oil is one of those things that doesn't really degrade. It takes a very, very long time, hundreds and hundreds of years for it to degrade. So yeah, the additives, all the zinc and the sulfur and everything that they add to those oils to make it stronger and last longer and be better for your engine, those things do break down, and that's where oil becomes bad. But they take a lot longer to, when they're stuck in oil, it takes a lot longer for them to break down. But this is the oil we're going to use. This is the Castrol Edge, and this is the Eurocar blend. It's the A3, what is it? A3B4, and I have 15 quarts of this stuff, and we're going to use most of it. The other fun part about the Hartley V8 that's in this car is it takes a very standard oil filter. It takes a lot of the parts for the engine Hartley designed to make. You could go to a Napa or an AutoZone or O'Reilly's or Advanced, whatever, and actually get some of the engine parts, the wear items. And he just sort of designed the block and the sump that way, along with the rest of the engine components. And one of the things he did was the oil filter is, this is standard Wix. What's really funny is he requested a Fram on there because he's kind of old school. And he remembers when Fram made really good filters, and Fram doesn't make good filters anymore. I wouldn't filter coffee through a Fram oil filter. So we're using Wix Platinum. That's what I use on everything in the shop. These guys make absolutely the best filters. They make them for a lot of manufacturers. They do them for Chrysler and Dodge, and they do them for a lot of people. And then one of the things that I do, and David said he hadn't seen this in ages, but I think it's one of those nice things to do. I put the date and my initials on the oil filter. And this one, I just do it in paint pen. This is for a small block Ford, like a 351 Cleveland. It's a kind of a big oil filter, but it works really well. And the Wix stuff is really good. So the other thing I have to remember is how to do an oil change on this. I haven't done it in years, and I don't remember where the drain plugs are. I don't remember how to lift it. So I figured I would bring you guys in to at least see how we lift this car. And we don't have to go up very high. We don't have to get underneath it, but we do need to get it a little bit off the ground so that we can get oil pans and stuff underneath it to drain it. And it starts off as an incredibly low car to begin with. So we're probably going to get interrupted tonight. I'm selling a set of wheels and tires, and the guy's coming by really late tonight to pick those up. I don't know why, but those 23s that were on the limo are stupid popular. I got over 80 messages for those 23s. I don't get it. They've been discontinued for like a decade. The tires are 20 plus years old. They're all dry rotted and unsafe. And I put all of that in the ad, but these guys, man, they've just been hammering. Hey, I can come pick it up now. I can come pick it up now. Hey, I can come. I'm giving everybody their fair shot. I give them 24 hours, no reply, goes to the next guy. And I've gone through probably 4 dudes. One guy really liked it, but he didn't like the chrome was peeling. I was like, okay. And he knew that the tires are going to be expensive. The tires are probably, for those 23s, 23 by, what are they, 23 by 11, David? 23 by 12? Yeah. The tires have to be 85 pounds. The wheel tire combo has to be 85 pounds each. And I think they're 295 or 305, 23, or 305, 30, 23. I think that's a size on the wheel, on the tire. They're gigantic, but the tires are crazy expensive and they're very hard to find. I think Falcon makes a set, and I think who else makes a set? There's another, like Linglong or some other Chinese company makes Linglong is a real Chinese tire company. They make the sets for tires. They're not very good. They're mainly for show. There's no performance involved. I would not drive them in the wet. I would barely drive them in the rain, but they fit those wheels and tires. And I had no clue that those wheels were so popular. Like, I figured it would take me years to sell those things, but within 48 hours, I probably had 40 guys that were dying to come and buy those wheels. So, and I've gone through a whole bunch of them. So this guy wanted to come on Friday. I said, yeah, Friday would be fine. Now he says, hey man, I can come by tonight. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm in the shop. So he's coming by tonight. I don't know. He said he was on his way. I don't know if we'll get interrupted or not, but I'm going to get cracking on trying to get this up a little bit off the ground safely. And speaking of tires, I really want to change out. These are the R888Rs from Toyo, the Proxys. They're great tires. It's the asymmetrical part that drives me bonkers. My OCD goes crazy. Even when the wheels are spinning, I can still see it in my head. So it's one of those. I'd really like to get a different tire. Oh, and one other thing. Speaking of tires, and speaking of Rockstar, gosh, how have I gotten this long without pimping Rockstar? Ah, that's the good stuff. So we got a package today, and this is from a company called Track Day Tire. And I don't know why, but they ship tires in boxes, which I find kind of funny. And it arrived today. Actually, I think it arrived yesterday. Oh, packing list. I already know what's in here, but I'll take the packing list anyway. These guys are very quick. They got a ton of really cool stuff in stock, and especially these Continentals. So $171 for one tire. That goes with the MR6 stuff. And I asked them on the order page, please don't send a sticker because they already sent me 2 stickers. I don't need any more stickers. Don't waste it. So here is our replacement tire for the MR6. And no sticker. This doesn't count as a sticker. So we have our replacement tire. We'll get that put on one of the black wheels. We will recycle this cardboard on Friday. So that's good news. We have the replacement tire for the MR6. It can get the black wheels again. That is a good thing, right? This one looks a little bit better than the one that's carved up. Barely. I mean, that was brand new rubber, and he was down to the cords. It just ate right through that. In not even half a lap, a quarter of a lap. Man, shoot up that tire. So, I'm going to start rolling around on the floor. And if I lose my hat, you guys will have to excuse my hair. But that is how it works. I have the car centered on here, but I don't know if we'll have to move it forward or backward. I'm guessing we're going to have to use the smaller pads. Sorry, we're going to have to ditch the hat for now and go with the light because I will definitely need light under there. Oh, both of the headband lamps are here? When did the other one come back? He walked back one night, I guess, because he wasn't here for a long time. Huh, okay, that's good news. So, for some reason, I remember the front being far more difficult than the back. Oh my God. There really is. This is entirely carbon fiber all the way across the car. We can lift. The frame starts right here, about a foot in from the edge of the car. So that's where we can lift from. We have, God, there's no place to lift from at the front because this is all the radiator underneath. There's a horizontal radiator underneath. That's right in front of a frame rail. And then there's hoses underneath it. So you can't reach anything to get up there. So the only place to lift from would be this lower control arm pivot point. And seriously, that's it. In the rear, I'm going to guess it's the same. I remember this being very, very difficult and having to jack stuff up and crawl around. Yeah, we're going to have to do the same thing in the back. The good news is in the back, we can jack up in the rear to slide this arm over. So do you hear someone here? Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to have to pause this while I get rid of these wheels and tires, okay? So give me a few minutes. Give me 5 minutes to sell these. I don't lose audio, so I will be back shortly. Thanks for understanding. I'll be right back. I think, or I'll be shot. One of the two. Hang on a sec. Coming back to you guys. If you think those two cars are terrifying, this ain't but absolutely. 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Want something quicker on 4 wheels, you need electric. Tops out about 165, 170. It's 500 horsepower, it's 1,400 pounds. This is prototype number 1. This is the car from the show. Two Hayabusa engines in Wisconsin, the hardly you get the block and the sun and crank. Figure out how to crank out that.
Or one wheel or
No, they put them together in a V8. So it's like you have a straightforward Busa, have another set of heads together. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's not comfortable.
How often do you take it out?
It's
Rarely. Not comfortable.
No, the seat is a single piece, and there's no padding or anything. Passenger sits however the driver sits. So if you want to sit up or sit back, the passenger has to sit like that. No cup holder, there's no heater, no radio, nothing. You in the car, it's all paddle shift. So yeah, like the turn signals. So it's just a toggle switch for the turn signals. It's amazing. That's it. There's no headlights. You can't go up at night. It's kind of street legal. You get pulled over by CBD, but then you go home. Pulled over by OSB. No self-adjusting belts. No airbag. Lines. Oh, nice windshield. But when we do testing stuff, we just go around here.
How is it good speed?
Go to Barrett Jackson. It's gonna go to Florida first. There was they never brought it to the US. Ariel only made 25 of them. Prototypes. Prototype number 2 burned down. So prototype and then 5 other ones. I've only ever seen one other in the US. Everything else, they knew that Americans just killed themselves. So they didn't send it. And the production ones only have one steering boss, either on the left or on the right, and one pedal boss. So prototypes had both sides of the
So you can take that outside.
yeah, it's a huge pain in the ass. It's a 2-day project to do that. They make it look like, oh, I just take the steering wheel and put it up and dash. Oh, no.
Change all the wiring.
All this stuff comes off, all the wiring goes over, and then all the lines for the clutch and brake, they all go over too. Everything has to get rebled. It's a mess. But it can be done. And we did it, we had it over there for about a year. My friend Lance, the same guy who I want to go to Starbucks and Lance. Way too loud. It's the loudest thing there. Yeah, I think it's louder than you honestly. And where are you going to put anything? No cup holders. Okay, so you get a bag of a couple of bagels or whatever. I'm just going to launch out the side. Yeah, that's the other 3 stroke. That one needs a cam seal on the front. Oh, the cam bearings are fine. It's the cam open right now. All the low pressure. But yeah, this brand new carburetor, brand new distributor, brand new valve covers. That thing is getting sold with the old 305 and the old tubes. And it comes with a crate. That's what the crate for the 3 can. Yeah, my friends, Miata engine that he's going to rebuild here. She's going to rebuild it. My spare Miata engine, and then the 1MZ got blown out. One of our guys on the ship. to fourth year, first year.
Yeah, we're actually live right now. Yeah, we were doing powerlifting in a lab. So we have to do this year.
Dude, it's like, hey, I think they're
Watching?
like, okay, hang out, everyone.
Okay, no problem. I'm a big kid.
Yeah, we're doing hard stuff. That's why all this stuff is here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We got those, I think we got those for the track. I'm not a big candy guy, so.
That's guys here. I appreciate it.
Dude, I'm so happy that these markets sold. And get them out of here. They've been in the storage shed in the back, and then I had them out here for a couple of weeks. Like, no one's gonna want these things. No one wants these.
Oh yeah, I definitely want it. You know what's crazy?
The tires are so expensive.
I have it here. Yes. Tires are so.
You have a set of those, the Aries.
I have a set of 43.
Oh, just for not that design.
Yeah, not that design.
Okay.
And my girl, she was
Okay. But I mean, the chrome's peeling. Okay. All right.
She only thing she. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for helping me get rid of those.
I appreciate you keeping them for me.
Now I feel, I feel better about it. I didn't know there was. We're back. Super cool, guys. Just bought the 23s, which is really nice. I get those things out of here. They're heading out. Cool. Yeah, really nice guys. They want it. The guy wants it for his. He wants that set for his girlfriend's car. She really likes the huge wheels. Happy campers. You know, there's a set of wheels for everyone, right? This is brought to you by Rockstar. Wow. So yeah, we'll go back to trying to lift this thing. So we can't lift from the front, but we can lift from the back. I don't think the air goes low enough, and we don't have a lift point here. This is all wing. Oh yeah, and using the frame here. Yeah, but we can't do that with the wing on. And then we have fan right here, and then vertical radiator, and then right after that, we have a bunch of hoses that go. No, not really. So I think we're gonna have to do the skinny guys, and then slide him in. Holy smokes. Okay, that's fully extended. Wow, it barely fits on here. Barely fits. That's cool. I'm glad that guy's happy. I had no clue how popular those wheels were. And I had no clue that I would actually be able to sell them. I figured they would sit on Marketplace for a very, very long time. All right. So we've got the arms behind where they need to go. By the way, that's a trick if you want to move a car without starting it or whatever. You can actually just roll the wheel. Do not go from the tire on the outside. Do not go into the spokes. That brake caliper and the inside of this wheel, take your fingers off. Outside, outside, rubber. Touch rubber, don't touch metal. Seen a lot of people. I saw an 18-year-old kid chop off 2 fingers. He was trying to position a car. Now, here comes the fun part. I will bet you dollars to donuts. Oh, it's gonna. It's going to. I think. So we can lift. Well, that's the corner of the rail right there. This will be very, very tricky. It's what? Yeah, I've got hockey pucks still to go in there. Okay, that is fully extended right there. And depending on, see, it has to come back a bunch. And I don't really have any way, because this guy's fully out and he's about 4 inches away. I don't think my lift arms are long enough. I really don't. Because he still has to go back. And if he goes back, I run out of. I only have about that far to go. Like that. That's true. We don't have to lift the front. The problem is I need this level in order to get the pan out, or to get a pan underneath there to drain it. It's so funny. There's no belt cover. They have a belt cover on there. That's crazy. So let me see how close I can get. Where did my light go? Again, excuse my hair, please. So you guys are still here hanging out, which is really cool. I appreciate that. I know it's late for a lot of people. So this is maxed. He needs to come back. I can't even get my head under there. So the fronts need to come back. About that far, a little bit more. This is the other problem. All this stuff sticks out so far. You can't really tell. Like without, I can't see past this trim piece, the nose piece. I definitely can't get any depth perception. Okay. Whoops, I'm losing my glasses here. So,
You trying to get it on that phone or what?
yeah, and that's what I'm feeling for right here, which is one of them right there. So, yeah, now the rears have to come all the way back, and my guy's fully extended, and he's not going to reach. So both of these, yeah, even fully extended.
You gotta have that arm more towards the back.
Yeah. They don't have anywhere else to lift from, which really sucks.
Get it up in there.
Yeah.
You got it before, right on the-
Yeah, it'll go right there, no problem. But that doesn't solve my level issue. There's no way to get it level still. It'll still be nose down.
Where's the drain plug?
I have no idea.
On the motor.
No idea. No idea. I mean, and that's the other thing. If it's got to be. Yeah. All this beautiful machining in here. God, this thing is artwork. I forgot how pretty this is. Here's our oil pump. I don't see any plug. God, I'm trying to remember where all this stuff is. It's been forever. And no. That's what I was looking for. I'm actually feeling for it. So, nope. No, I could have sworn there was one for the block.
You can even see the oil.
What's that?
You can even see the oil.
Yeah, it's right up here. It's got a shield on it. What? God, there is no place to jack from. It really isn't. There really isn't, and that sucks.
Can't reach that control arm? No.
Nope.
Arm's too short.
Yep. Well, you jack from back here. There's the engine cradle, and you jack from the corner pieces on the engine cradle, but there's no. The lift arms won't reach that. If they reach it in the back, then they don't reach up front. It has to go so far inside. The arms have to go so far inside. Yep. All of the arms are completely extended. They almost touch. Yeah. This makes it a little more difficult. So what we can do is we can lift in the front with the arms, and then we can match it with the air jack in the back. And if we want to do that, we can put it on jack stands. Or at least put the rears on jack stands. And leave the fronts on whatever. So I think that's going to, with this lift, I think that's going to be the way to do it.
It'll get you, it'll get high enough to fall under.
It'll go high enough for jack stands. It'll go high enough for jack stands. Well, I guess it depends on where we put it. We also have an extender for that to help us go for jack stands. Wow, that thing gets warm when it's fully charged. Yeah, we're gonna pull that oil filter off, and he's gonna dump oil over shit, all over the axles and everything. We'll have to paper towel that stuff. Plastic wrap it. Yeah, I can't think of any other way to do this. The wheel dollies will lift it up, but that doesn't help us. This is a tough one, you guys. Just because there's no place, the arms are fully extended out and they still can't reach where they need to lift in the front of the car and where they need to lift in the back of the car. Like I said, everything else is carbon fiber, so it would poke right through. This is a hard one. And the lifts that we had at studio, they were different lifts. They were Challenger lifts, and they had a 3-section. They were slightly longer arms with the 3 sections, but I think that's the difference, is that extra 3 or 4 inches, right? The extra 3 or 4 inches. Yeah. That's always the difference, right? We can see we can lift the front and get jack stands under the front section and then raise the back until we can get jack stands under it. Then we're level, right?
Got a little rake to it.
Yeah. So
That whole, how do they get
I don't know.
that shield comes off of it.
Yeah, the shield isn't part of the filter. What?
It looks like it's unless you can add filter something.
Yeah, there's a worm clamp back here. So the shield comes off, and then the filter comes off. Let's see if we can get this thing up in the air with the front. So I can kind of see it through here. That's the nice part about having this little skeleton set up, is I can sort of see everything. Of course. Ow! That really hurt. Okay, so this needs to come back a little bit. And that can go square on there. Go back a little bit more. How the every time you try and reach in to make an adjustment, you can't get to it. You have to come around from the other side. So you can see it from here, you just can't touch it. God, this is obnoxious. like I can see the hockey puck and the control arm, but I can't make any adjustments on it until I come back here where I can't see anything. And I'm trying to center that hockey puck and that pad. All right. That looks to be on the joint. So do the same thing over here. Maybe I can get lucky on this side. I still really can't see anything. Very difficult. All right. Can you give it a couple of bumps? Yep. Keep going. A couple more. And hang on. God, that looks like it. Yeah, go ahead. And we're touching over here. Just want to make sure we have clearance on the tub. Ow! Yes. Ow, that really hurt. Okay, so hang on. We need to put a wheel chuck in the back. Oh, hit my head really hard. Should probably do a wheel chuck up front too, but I just don't want this thing rolling. What? Yeah, I know. So keep going. A little bit more. Yep. Just keep going a little at a time. All right. A little bit more. A little more bump. Let me look under here. And bring it back down, David. The lever, yep. All the way down. I want to reposition this guy. He's okay, but he needs to slide. The puck needs to go a little more to the inside. So, okay, right there. Okay, go back up again. And yeah, I think we're okay right there. Yeah. We're not touching anything on the pod, which is great. Okay, you can keep going up and go slower and like, okay, whoa, because we're about to touch the pod from the angle. So I think we can get jack stands on these two parts. The front section of the control arms. I cannot hear you. The front's what?
I wouldn't put jack stands on front.
Well, I'm putting jack stands on the back too.
Did you lift it up and you going to change anything?
Yeah. I don't know. I like putting jack stands on. Call me weird. Can you grab the air hose? We also have the extender for this. By the way, if you guys don't have one of these in your shop, you should grab one. I know they're kind of expensive. I got this as a Christmas gift from my friend Scott. These things are awesome. So you hook up an air hose here, and it inflates and it goes up like a foot. I can do the entire side of the Miata. So I can do 2 wheels at once with this guy. Slides in there and inflates, and then you pull it down and it drops really quick. It's very heavy. It has this gnarly steel frame on the bottom, but it's very fast. Works great. We need a lot more than that. Okay. Actually, can I have a hockey puck from the corner of the lift there? Oh, and he smells really terrible too when you deflate him. It's that rubber smell. What is moving? Yeah, but again, I'd like to put jack stands on this. Grab those 2 jack stands. And brand new pads we can use. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually going to do it on the rail right there. These fit all jack stands. Sure they do. So oh, are you shitting me? Of course, that cross member goes in, right? So, the angled cross member here.
I decide what I'm with.
Pretty stable. All right, well, I'm going to leave this jack here, and I'm going to leave that wheel chock there. There we go. We've lifted the Atom at least enough to do the oil change on it. Well, I haven't done it in a while, and we also had someone stop by and buy some wheels and tires, so that counts too. We got rid of the 23s from the limo, which I thought would never ever sell. So, not too bad. If you wanted to do jack stands, so with the Ariel, if you have a normal lift, you're going to have to do front and then back. And that's just how it is. Unless you have a different type of lift. With a 2-post lift, you're going to have to do front and back. That's just how the car is engineered and where the lift points are. There aren't really great lift points. There is a lift point here for the front to do front wheel changes, tire changes, but we don't have the jack for that. So that's why we're not using it. Yeah, I think it's actually pneumatic, but yeah. So that's why we didn't do it that way. We're using just the front of the lift, and then we use the air jack in the back to get it up. And it's actually not level. It's actually high in the front. So that's a little bit better. And I guess that's the good part. When it's up in the air like this, we can drain oil by raising it or lowering it. We can make sure we get all the old oil out of there. So a little convoluted, a little weird. David's got to do a selfie. It's a selfie. He's trying to tell us otherwise. There you go. Get a good shot of David on the live feed. So, not too bad. Definitely not optimal. I don't really want to work on the car this way. The other good part is there's very little stuff underneath the car to work on. You have a couple of hose clamps for the coolant and stuff to go back there. But there's very little. Most of it is all topside, which is very nice. So that's one of the reasons why they don't have a lot of lift points on these, is because you don't really have to. Is that my phone? My computer dinging? Oh. Oh, David's sending me the pictures. That's why my thing's dinging. People don't message me. So there we have it. We've got a very happy Ariel Atom up in the air. Overnight tonight, I'll drain out the sump and let that drain out, and I'll also get the drain plug in the engine and make sure that, you know, gets drained out fully. Tomorrow I'll get the oil filter off and make sure that gets drained out. I'm not even going to cut open that fram. I'm just going to throw it away. There's no, that fram has nothing good in there, and I'm sure it's not caught anything in the last 3 years. So there's no use to cut that open or take a look at it or anything.
Bill wanted to get you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If it caught any stripper,
Yeah. So we're glad we're getting rid of that fram and going with the wicks. I've got really kick-ass oil that is actually readily available here in the US. You don't have to get some kind of weird, you know, bizarro Lithuanian, Australian, you know, Bali mix from Ecuador. You know, you can actually go get really nice Castrol oil. And we were talking about other oils. Pennzoil makes a real good A3B4. And who else made a really good one? Quaker State? Quaker State, Pennzoil, and Castrol. They make the best Euro blend A3A4, A3B4 oils with all the additives you want for all the Euro spec stuff, and super tight tolerances, all of that. That's the oil you want to use. So pick your flavor. You got multiple flavors. I don't think one's better than the other. Get whichever one's cheaper, or whichever one fits in your budget, or whichever one you like the smell of better. So that's it for tonight. We've got the limo out of here. It actually idled pretty well for a while. Stayed at like 195, right? Not moving any at all, just staying still. It stayed at 190, 195. The Miata got rid of the lifter tick after 20 minutes and sold the 23s. So we had a pretty productive night here at the shop. We'll the controller for the EFI that the shop broke, the other shop, the exhaust place broke, will be here on the 29th. So the limo is going to stay parked for a little while until I get that controller, because I can't do anything with the car. I can't control any of the EFI. It'll also give me time to get a new fuel pump. I think I need a new fuel pump and new fuel filters for that car. So the limo is going to stay over there for a little bit. We'll have the Ariel in here. We've got Scott's car coming up for braided lines. I think he wanted to do that before Hawking this weekend, so we might do that tomorrow night. And then we've got, what else do we have? We had something else in here. We got other stuff coming into the shop. So we'll get this thing finished up tomorrow. And then David's going to do pads for Volvo or for BMW? For the BMW. So we'll have a night where we'll do BMW stuff. We can talk about the myth of turn signals. Like you've ever bought blinker fluid in your life. Yeah. Yeah, when you owned an S2K, not when you've owned a BMW. So that's it for tonight. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, definitely put them below. Send me a text, send me a message. I'll reply to all of them. At the very least, a thumbs up. And don't forget to show someone that you love them. It's very important. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it's more important for you. Okay? Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. We will catch you tomorrow from Kev Shop. Cool. Cool, man. Thanks for